Hi, I'm Kristen Clossie with the practice management team at Commonwealth, and today I'm joined by Alex Levy with the Element Financial Group out of New York. Alex, thank you so much for your time today.
My pleasure.
To start, can you tell us what it was like for your business when the pandemic hit?
It was interesting. As a New York-based business, things got serious very quickly for us. We had staff members who were coming in. By the March 9th, we realized something was happening. And we had a staff member who had a compromised family member, and we told her she should not come into the office. And we told her to work remote. So we were already starting to work remote by the 9th. By the 13th, we realized that this was really bad, and we shut our office. We went fully remote as of the 13th. By the 16th, our phones were ringing off the hook. And by phones, I mean video conferences and phones. Our clients were worried, and we were reaching out and talking to them first about their businesses. That was the first wave of concern. The stock market took an interesting turn about a week later. And so we were talking to clients about what was happening in the market. Oddly enough, our clients weren't worried about the downturn because we are predominantly a financial planning firm. Our clients, we don't get that many phone calls when market downturns happen, but we did have a lot of clients that had a significant amount of cash, and we were trying to figure out when would be a comfortable time to deploy into the market. So that took a segment of time. And then, of course, the PPP and the idle loans were happening. So it was one wave after the next, starting from the 16th on. I mean, we were on fire, working harder than ever. Thankfully, we had already been utilizing technology in a pretty significant way. We weren't sure that it would all translate the way it did, but thankfully, our pivot into a virtual reality was very successful. Clients were getting what they needed from us, and they were getting it in a timely and actually more efficient way than even we had been able to do it before. So it worked. It worked very well. I mean, we by the first week, we were really turning all the buttons on to be virtual. So how we were dealing with clients, how we were running the business, how we were making sure money was being transferred back and forth between clients and their investment accounts or their financial planning fees. It was a wild ride, and still is. Here we are a year later. We're still closed. We're still not in New York, and we're still virtual.
Can you talk a little bit more about how your clients responded to interacting with you in a virtual environment?
We have a lot of clients in technology, so we've been using technology for quite some time, but there was a segment of the client base we weren't quite sure how they would respond. And across the board, resoundingly, people were pleased. It's very, I've been saying we're going to be one of the last businesses that comes back live, right? And especially in New York. I mean, it's been a long time before somebody wants to go in a conference room with a mask on in a closed door and have a conversation about their very personal financial matters without, having a side dialogue in their head about, did someone sneeze? Was that someone touched that thing? So we plan on being virtual. We had clients, my first client that used a Zoom screen background, which happened in early March. I'd never even seen it before. We don't have that many clients that are in their 80s, but we have a handful. And one of those clients was the first person that used the screen. He had his meeting. He was on a sunny beach somewhere. It was amazing. So our clients have really been able to, and not been able to. They're very happy to work this way. They just need to they just want to be able to communicate with us, however that might be. And what's more convenient than sitting in your house at your leisure without having to commute and still being able to see facial expressions and receive the comfort that they would receive otherwise. So for us, it's been a very smooth transition.
Alex, are there any benefits to moving your practice to a fully virtual model?
Unexpectedly, there were many efficiencies. Of course, I wish we lived in a pre-pandemic world and that this had never happened. But we did have to, roll with the punches and figure out how to do business. We had to evolve our business to respond to the environment that we were in. And I was surprised from a business standpoint, from a business practice management standpoint, that there were many efficiencies that happened. So, one is the length of meetings changed. And we found that when we do these meetings on a Zoom, that even we're still getting that connection, and we still do have, lovely conversations where we're catching up, and it's friendly and cordial, and there's a bit of chitty chat, but the meetings last an hour. So we really found an efficiency in the timing of how we were running the business and our capacity, thankfully, because we've been growing like wildfire. We had an amazing year of growth last year. There were many, many referrals. And so as we were making that transition, we realized, okay, so we're finding this efficiency in the meetings. I was getting a lot of referrals. In the past, I used to take 2 meetings, and I would have a phone call, and then somebody would come in the office. They would meet me. I would walk them through the process. Sometimes there would be a follow-up phone call. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that I could get a referral on the phone or on a video conference, do all of that in one meeting in 1 hour. So I became much more efficient about the pipeline and about moving referrals into the business of becoming new clients. And so that was a really tremendous opportunity. And we realized there was a great efficiency in that. Finding these efficiencies all over, we were picking them up in all the different ways we're doing business, and our people were just getting better and better. And we also made sure they had the tools they needed to be successful. So we made sure everybody had good cameras, and they had lights, and they had good speaker phones, so they weren't battling with technology when they were doing the meetings, and that we were using every opportunity to integrate better technology into the firm to figure out what to do, and then also making everybody feel more comfortable. So, we told people, don't wear a suit when you're on camera in a pandemic. Like, everybody knows you're at home. So it's not, we wanted the authenticity of what happens when somebody comes to see us to translate in this new virtual world. And so we really spent a lot of time and focus to make sure that we were delivering that same experience in a virtual format. And I think authentic is a very important word to me. I think it matters a lot. And I think that authenticity translated because of the work we did.
As a New York-based business, has your growth strategy changed at all?
It has. We are all women. And we've had some great guys too, but we are women owned and founded. I have my business partner, Joanne, and I founded the business, and we have, a keen interest in being the best at what we do, and also attracting women into the industry and keeping women in this business, which we think is so fantastically suited for and ready for a female voice. Sadly, very, proportionately, it has not reflected. And so for us, because we could translate our business delivery and the experience that our clients have when they work with us so easily, it made us start thinking about how we thought about everything, like everybody in the world now, after being able to successfully transition to a fully remote business. What are the implications of that moving forward? And for us, there are tremendous opportunities. We really do like giving women an avenue into this industry to succeed, and we think that it's a fantastic opportunity to reach women. Our talent pool is much wider than it had been when we were physically located in New York and the tri-state area. We opened up our talent search. We've been hiring quite a few people, actually, and we are fielding responses nationwide. So we're talking to women all across the country who are making transitions and want to continue to work, want to be in their career. They want to be successful, but they also realize the benefits for a working woman to be able to work in a remote way. And so for us, that's been tremendous. It just has opened up some incredible opportunities from a talent perspective. So for us, that's one of the big advantages. And the way we, there are many pluses of being a New Yorker. And being a New York business owner is a fantastic experience, except for one thing, and that would be commercial real estate. So what we pay for commercial real estate would, boggle most people's minds. And for us, growth meant more commercial real estate, which has an exponential cost and price tag to it. Now we are thinking about our office in a different way. We will always have an office. We are a New York firm. We will always have a footprint in Manhattan, and our clients across the country. So East Coast, West Coast, we have clients in everywhere, but San Francisco, LA, New York are probably the strongest areas for our client base. So we'll always have commercial office space, but it's not going to be a proportionate per square foot number to the amount of folks that work for us. We are reinventing.
So what obstacles and or advantages do you experience as a woman in a male-dominated industry?
Well, that's a loaded question. Of course, some. I've been around for a little while, and as you come up in this business, certainly when I did, and I would, we'd say my business partner, there weren't a whole lot of women in the business, and so you really had to figure out how to find a pathway if you were determined to stay in this business, which I was, and make a community and a network for yourself. And I often tell people, yes, was uncomfortable. When I first came into the business, I came in through a firm and they gave New Advisor of the Year award out that year. They give it out every year. It was the first year in the history of the time they've been doing it, and they've been around for a really long time, that they gave it to two people, me and a guy in the office whose numbers were not as good as mine. So that's the kind of stuff you dealt with all the time, and sadly, as I interview more and more women across the country, that does happen still. But the opportunity comes from the discomfort of that, and I say that all the time. Like, the fact that it wasn't a right fit for me drove me forward into creating something that was the right fit, which was Element. And soon after, I realized that I wanted to be in this business for the long haul, because it's an amazing business for women. It's basically, it's very honorable to be able to help people every day and really help them feel better and less worried and less concerned. And it's just so satisfying if that is part of your makeup, and if you like helping people. And you can be ambitious, and that's not a bad word for a woman. You can really they're not mutually exclusive. Doing well and being successful are not two mutually exclusive things. You can have that in this business. Plus, if you are in this business, you can find a way to work that works for you, whether you like being in front of clients, if you like doing the analytics. There are lots of different ways to be in this industry. And when you find your comfort zone, there's also, especially if you own your own business or you're an advisor that's building a business, there's no ageism and sexism in this business. I mean, if you're good, you only get better as you get older. You have more knowledge. And if you're running your own show, you can't get fired. So that is one of the reasons that I just think it's a terrific business for women. And I think the discomfort of being in a male-dominated business can really help women find a way to find something that's right for them and create something that makes sense for them.
If you could go back 10 years, what would you say to yourself?
Oh, I'd say don't listen to the noise, right? Mm-hmm. Decide what you want And if you don't know exactly what you want in this business, there's lots of ways to figure it out. Find your network, make a network, talk to everybody, reach out to other advisors, other women who are in this business, and let them help you find your pathway. Be ready to pivot, take advantage of opportunities when they arise. Be brave. Don't be frightened to take an opportunity to step forward in front of clients, or to start something, or to be entrepreneurial, or to take an opportunity that may not be exactly what you envision, but has tremendous opportunity forward. And the other part I would say is time is your friend. It's a successful financial advisory business doesn't happen overnight. It's something you build over time. And the longer you're in it, the more successful, likely your success will be, and the more successful you will be.